viewers, you are welcome to BMK Media Productions Studio, presenting you with another exciting episode of this program, Humble Beginning. I still remain your chief host, Ben Millers. The last episode centered on Professor Duroni, who has provided his successor, Master Toib, with a great assurance to climb the ladder of education without fear or trembling. Isn't that amazing? Wow, today's program is terrific, filled with lots of love, empathy, and life-provoking thoughts. Remember to be part of this program. All you need to do is to like and share. Share with your friends and loved ones. Do not also forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel by clicking on the red button showing below, and all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so that you will be notified anytime we upload a new content. See you there. Every rose has its thorns. Just as every good situation happens with adversity in life. And to be successful in any business venture as an entrepreneur would demand more than just starting up new ventures every day, only to expect huge amount of gains overnight. This is a platform, Humble Beginning, where to look at performance and achievement in any walk of life, to present to our viewers successful business entrepreneurs across the globe with strong assertive who are sensitive to guide those living in the ghettos and among others who are disconnected socially, economically, politically, educationally, and psychologically. Can we please welcome our guest? Put your hands together as we welcome our guest. Wow. You are welcome, sir. Yes, you can see such a beautiful smile. Let me allow you to express that joy, that joyful spirit in you. You are welcome, sir.
Nice being with you.
Thank you. Yes. This program is Humble Beginning, and anybody that comes to this program is associated with humility. There is always this thing to look out for every guest that comes on this platform. So my guest, our audience would like to know who you are and how this journey gets started. Can we get to meet you, sir?
Yes, viewers at home, well, I'm Abola Salami. I'm a legal practitioner and also a visually impaired, which people generally refer to as blind. So as the title of the program is Humble Beginning, well, even without my disability, I think I began humbly in the sense that, well, I'm a lawyer today, but I'm a produce, if I'm allowed to use that word, of parents that are not educated. That is, my father died. My father was a peasant farmer. Well, I don't want to use the word stark illiterate, but when it comes to the issue of the four walls of the classroom, my father is not educated, and neither my mother is still living, but she's not educated as well. So with that few scenario that I just painted, that shows clearly that I began humbly. So I want to believe by the time the program progresses, well, the real humble beginning as regards my disability and the little I think I've achieved today will play out.
Oh, thank you. Barrister, I can categorically call you barrister. Am I right?
Well, a layman can categorically call me a barrister, but in Nigeria I'm not only a barrister but also a solicitor. That's why it will be safe for you to call me a legal practitioner as far as Nigeria context.
Please, can you please? Oh my God, there can never be a rose without thorns. You have painted some background, some scenarios, and those of us who are in one way or the other that are physically challenged would understand what you have just painted, what it takes to come from a home where you have no mentor, a home where you have no role model, a home where parents who's supposed to be or supposed to guide us, okay, are not empowered. And you have come a long way. That will take me to the next question. Barrister, our solicitor. Our audience would want to know, differently from what you have just said, was there any challenge at all that you face as a starter?
Yes, there are challenges that I faced as a starter. And generally, for purposes of knowledge and to simplify the challenges, I just categorize the challenges into two, which what I will say is natural challenges and environmental challenges. What I mean with those two terms is simple. Like I said, and as we can all see, well, I live with visual impairment, that is, I'm blind. The schools I've attended, I attended the school with this condition. Now imagine somebody that cannot see, and the person wants to go to school, he wants to be educated, he wants to mix with the creme de la creme of the society. You see, even for those that are able, if I'm allowed to use that word,
yes,
we know how tedious, how stressful it is to accomplish in that regard. So, because of my disability, that's why I said natural. Because, you know, once in a particular situation,
yes,
one is bound to face the natural consequence of that particular situation. Being a blind person, I have that challenges of how to overcome, how to do that tasks that requires the sight. What do I mean? There's nothing you want to do practically that you will not need your sight.
Yes.
So there are challenges in that regard. Reading books and some other, and doing so many things. You know, you have to get rehabilitated, you have to adopt and adapt different situations, different circumstances to suit that your disability. So there are challenges in get that done. And what are the challenges in that regard? Like you said, well, ordinarily when people talk about mentor, they just thought is somebody just around you. Well, the education per se, I may not be totally at a disadvantage when it comes to mentor as per education, but I'm at a disadvantage when it comes to mentor as to person that has lived above disability. So where I was born, where I grew up, and those people we see around that in this condition, they are relatively the beggars. Nobody has surpassed or surmounted the difficulties associated with visual impairment or disability in general. So there's no mentor in that regard. And my parents are not educated. They are not educated, although and relatively they are not exposed beyond their own area of specialization. To get hint of how do I become somebody like today was a difficult task, was a challenge initially. All what they were focusing on then was that, it's possible I can regain a sight. We're moving from one prayer point to another, from one hospital to another. So that is the first challenge. Now, when we came out of that challenge, sending somebody who is living with disability to school requires ×4 or ×10 of the money that you use to send a regular child to school. Just imagine when you are spending 1,000 naira on a child and you are supposed to spend 10,000 naira on a person with disability. Coupled with the belief that people just assume that what they were doing then they were just doing it as if let's just do it, because they are not too sure of the results of what they are doing. So, and they are not the rich type. So all those things are challenges. So flowing from disability itself. Now let me now come to the environmental challenges.
Exactly.
You know, naturally, the natural challenges are not as much as they are important. But the environmental challenges are more important than the environmental challenges. That is the perception of people around you. How do they see you? Do they see you as equal to them? Do they see you as capable to do the task? Do they see you as a person that has a right to live and live in the society? Those are environmental challenges.
Yes.
Locally, some even religious-wise, cultural-wise, they have different degrading words to describe persons with disability and those living with vision impairment that are very discouraging.
Exactly.
So all those things kill one's morale and discourages so many people to be of one's help. So flowing from that too, there's no government provision as to address the environmental challenges.
It's also a challenge.
It's also a challenge. Practically, you are left alone, like unguarded goat, to roam about and feed for him or herself. These are different challenges.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. Amidst of all the various challenges you mentioned, I'm also aware because I am physically challenged, and I know what the struggle is. Sometimes you feel like giving up. Sometimes it just takes the voice inside you. Something actually must, propel, keep talking, motivating you. So I would want to ask, what kept you going? Okay, despite the fact that you have never enjoyed all these benefits, mentorship and all of that, what kept you going?
Well, let me start. What kept me going is first the grace of God. Because I said, I was less than 8 years when I realized that I'm blind. If I'm not sitting there and said, oh, it's because of my commitment, what do I know about commitment at age 8? So I honestly believe that it's the grace of work that worked for me and is still working for me till this time. That's one. Then the second thing that kept me going is that then, notwithstanding that my parents are not educated, but they never for once relented in asking questions. How do we make this boy be somebody in future? Although they were not thinking the direction of education, but because they are Muslims, and in the holy books they've read about scholars that are blind. They've read about people that are blind and they are scholars. So they were practically thinking in that direction, because before God sent somebody to inform them that, oh, there is a school. That's when I started that journey, 1989. Primary school, secondary school, NCE, university, and now.
Please, can you put your hand? Thank you. As a solicitor, that's a great height. That's a great height. Do you think you've gotten to the height where you would want to be?
Wow.
Because what else?
I could remember that that topic in economics. They said woman wants are what? Are insertable.
So like Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist.
Okay.
So once we are still alive, and as a person living with disability, you don't rest on your ass. You still have to continue struggling, because you are proving a point. Because like as we speak in Nigeria today, that environmental challenges are still there. It's you that you prove and you make yourself readily available to fight through those challenges. If cannot be totally eradicated, but it has to be under control. So that is as I'm seated there, I said, well, when it comes to education, even as a professor, you still be aspiring to be an emeritus professor. So that shows that, well, as to put it simple,
yes,
I'm still at the beginning.
You mean you are just starting?
I'm just starting.
The sky is not even a limit.
Yes.
Please, can you give it to him? Please, give it to him. Thank you. Because it has actually taken care of my next question, because I wanted to ask, I said, what next? What next should be your plan? But since you have already set the ball going, I think we'll be looking at in the next 5 years, 10 years to come. Where do you think?
Even from tomorrow. There are so many things one is doing that you may not expect. You'll be expecting the result since last year, but result may not come last year, may not come this year. I may even be the tomorrow that the result will come. And that's how you'll be doing that. You think the result will come now, it may be another 5 years. On a daily basis, I'm expecting results of my activities. Yes. Because it's only in school. It's only when you are only limited to your exposure to the 4 walls of the classroom. That's when you'll be saying that, before you can be a graduate, you have to spend 4 years. After your master, you have to do 1 year this year. But when it comes to mental application and ability, anything can happen. Even this interview can create more opportunities than expected.
Amen.
So to now say 5 years, 2 years, just like as if you are giving God time.
Okay, let me marry it with the next question, because you talked about government policies. Has there been any policy, any government policy that affected you, or so to say, do you have any economic factors that affected you as visually impaired?
Yes, there are government policies, programs, and plans that have affected me. Like I said, as I started from primary school, even if you may not have a perfect society, because like I used to say, you cannot live beyond your society. So notwithstanding that, we still don't have a perfect Nigeria as we wish or we want. Then we still have government policies that have impacted on me and people with disability positively. One of them is the education policy and programs. So we have schools that are special schools. We have schools that are mixed, that's integrated schools, and we have. That's why today the only special school I think I attended was my primary school. All other schools I've attended were mixed school, even in the great University of Lagos. So it's part of those government policy that has impacted on me positively. I was able to learn in the same classroom with others that can see.
Yes.
We attend the same school together. We sleep in the same hostel, and we write the same exam, and we are now practicing the same profession. So although it may not be perfect as we wish or as we want it, but that does not to say that there are no government policy that affected me. Yes. And going forward from there, I think the government itself or themselves, they are not relaxing or resting. As we are making progress, as we are convincing them, because I believe initially is that cultural, that parochial belief that disability and inability, that was what was affecting government policies, plans, and implementation as for a person with disability. But when they now see us proving them rightly or wrongly, where they've been able to shift the grants, and as we see, we have a National Disability Act, which is the first of its kind since independence, and we still have some state disability legislations and agencies. So that shows that plans, programs are existing, and very many more are on the way to impact on us positive.
All right. As a solicitor, is there any way you have promoted Nigerian economy?
We promote Nigerian economy several ways. One, even as I need as a person, like me, I so much believe in Nigeria made things. Yes, as I'm seated here, the suit I'm putting on is in Lagos here.
Yeah.
Somebody here in Lagos made this suit for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's a way of contributing to Nigeria economy. The shoes, the palm I wear, they are Nigeria made. Ordinarily, if not maybe those days, but these days I hit Nigeria, maybe because I grew up in the village. I'm so used to Nigerian food. You see me taking garri. I'm not a fan of you eat all these foreign this and that.
Indomie generation.
Indomie.
Thank you, viewers. We may need to take a short break, and when we come back, we continue with the second round. So while we expect our guests to take a little respite, have a cup of water. So we'll be back. Join with us as we come back.